Garmin have been a big name in the golf industry for a number of years now. From GPS watches to sensors on your golf clubs and on-course GPS units. More recently, they came out with a launch monitor designed for golf simulation, the Garmin Approach R10. But their first step into launch monitors was the Garmin Approach G80. Not just a GPS unit, but a pocket-sized launch monitor as well. If you're watching this video, you're probably in the market for one of these. And you're going to want to stick around because I'm going to test this launch monitor's accuracy against the Flightscope Mevo Plus. I'm going to put them both head to head to see if this pocket-sized launch monitor is as accurate as the Flightscope Mevo Plus. And is it worth the money? I'm going to find out today. Let's get into it.
For a kickoff, why are launch monitors a handy item to have in your golf bag? Simply put, they help you understand how far you hit your golf clubs. Knowing how far you hit your golf clubs is so important when you're out on the golf course. You've got to know what club you need to hit to get into a green or to get over a greenside bunker or even to get over a water hazard. So they're very handy to have in the bag, and the Garmin G80 is actually a very affordable launch monitor. Affordable. Brand new, you can pick this thing up for about £400, but there's a lot of them on the second-hand market for around £180 to £220. And like I said in the introduction, the Garmin G80 isn't just a launch monitor, it's a handheld GPS unit as well. But there's no point in having a launch monitor in the bag unless it's accurate. It'd be fairly pointless getting wrong yardages for your golf clubs, and that's why I'm doing this video. I'm not going to delve too much into the sort of GPS aspect of this unit because you can get GPS units fairly cheap. Hell of a lot cheaper than that. The G30 Approach is a hell of a lot cheaper than £400. That's probably about 150 quid brand new. The real selling point of the G80 is its launch monitor capabilities, and that's what I'm going to put to the test today. Right, I'm going to work my way up through the golf bag. I'm going to start with some lob wedges, sort of pitch shots or 3/4 lob wedges, just to see if the units can sort of match up at some slower swing speeds. About a bit of a warm-up, so hopefully this goes pretty well. Pretty good shot to start with. The Flightscope's carrying at 72 yards, while the Garmin is carrying at 67 yards. Clubhead speed-wise, the Mevo is at 69 miles an hour compared to the Garmin at 63 miles an hour. Ball speed, we've got 66 with the Mevo and 63 with the Garmin. Not a good start for the Garmin, if you ask me there. I mean, we're not swinging it that hard. You wouldn't have thought the differences would be that big, to be honest, but maybe it's just a little misread. I'm going to hit 3 shots with each club and then see what we come up with. It's annoying. Lost ball over the top of my screen. Such a tiny gap, and a lob wedge seems to go there 90% of the time. Really annoying. Something I need to fix. Anyway, let's look at the results of that shot. So, the Flightscope Mevo Plus has the ball carrying at 73 yards compared to the Garmin at 66 yards. So quite a lot off there. Clubhead speed way off as well. 66 miles an hour with the Flightscope compared to 60 miles an hour with the Garmin. Ball speed wise, the Mevo's coming in at 65, 66 miles an hour compared to the Garmin at 62 miles an hour. Not very accurate so far. One more lob wedge and then we'll move on to some full pitching wedges. Pretty good shot again. Yeah, good. Yeah, the Flightscope's carrying just as far as it should do, to be honest with you. We've got 75 yards carry with the Mevo compared to 68 with the Garmin. Clubhead speed-wise is way off. We've got 65 mile an hour with the Mevo compared to 57 with the Garmin. Ball speed-wise, that's a little bit closer, to be fair. We've got 67 miles an hour ball speed with the Mevo compared to 64 with the Garmin. So I'll be honest with you, those lob wedge results weren't that great. Right, let's move on to some fuller swings. I've got a pitching wedge in hand, and like I said, I'm going to try some fuller swings. Maybe the Garmin needs a bit more speed to be accurate. Let's give it a go. Flush shot, just pulled it a little bit. Probably goes a bit further there, further than I normally would hit it, just because it was a pull. So the Mevo is carrying at 138 yards compared to the Garmin at 130 yards. Club head speed difference, we've got 82 miles an hour with the Mevo, 76 with the Garmin. Ball speed, 103 miles an hour with the Mevo compared to 100 with the Garmin. Not the most convincing result so far, I won't lie to you. 400 quid this thing costs, brand new. Another good shot. Hitting it well today, won't lie. That's pretty much how far my pitch and wedge normally goes. 133, 134 yards. The Garmin has it at 128 yards. So we're way off here. I mean, 5 yards doesn't sound like a lot, but like it's consistently shorter. Everything is wrong so far. It sounds harsh, but there hasn't been a single one that's been right, in my opinion. Club head speed difference as well. We've got 81 miles an hour with the Mevo compared to 76 with the Garmin. Ball speed 102 with the Mevo compared to 99 with the Garmin. Nothing's sort of adding up here. All right, one more shot with the pitch and wedge, then we'll move on to an 8 iron or a bit of a longer iron. Maybe we'll try the 7 iron actually. And then we'll get into the driver. That was a poor shot. That was nearly a shank, I won't lie. So fair enough, a good drop off in distance. And to be fair, the Garmin has picked up that drop off. So we've got 128 yards with the Mevo compared to 119 with the Garmin. So again, did drop off. Club head speed 82 miles an hour with the Mevo compared to 79 with the Garmin. Ball speed, we've got 97 with the Mevo compared to 94 with the Garmin. So I mean, it's good to know that a poor shot will register on this Garmin. I mean, the distance is wrong, but it's still, you know, still picked it up, didn't it? Right, let's move on to a 7 iron. I'm hoping for better results here. I haven't had any sort of like misreads off it. You know, it's registered every single shot so far. It's just not been accurate, unfortunately. Right, 7 iron. This normally goes, I mean, when I'm hitting it well, it's going to go 172 yards, but I'm not sure I'm capable of that right now. So let's say anything over 165 is about right. Flushed, just pulled an absolute mile. Oh, it's got a mile left and a mile in the air. Bit closer this time. This is good. Little bit of progress. The Flightscope has carried 175 yards compared to the Garmin at 166 yards. Consistently between 7 and 9 yards shorter. Club head speed, we've got 88 miles an hour with the Mevo compared to 84 with the Garmin. Ball speed 120 miles an hour with the Mevo and 117 yards with the Garmin. To be fair to the Garmin, I am starting to sort of notice a trend here. It's always shorter. It's not that sporadic. It picks up a sort of dodgy shot. So, you know, maybe there's something to this. Out the middle, maybe a little bit fat, but swung a bit harder there. Bloody hell, it's got miles. Maybe I am just hitting it miles today. Okay, so carry with the Mevo 178 yards compared to 168 yards with the Garmin. Club head speed's a long way off here. It's 90 miles an hour with the Mevo compared to 82 miles an hour with the Garmin. I would expect the club head speed to be pretty accurate on this thing. I mean, the club is, you know, it's only a foot away from the unit. It should be able to measure that fairly well, you'd have thought. But it's way off compared to the Mveo Plus. Ball speed wise, we've got 121 miles an hour with the Mevo compared to 118 miles an hour with the Garmin. Okay, one last shot with a 7 iron, then we'll move on to the big stick. I've hit these wedges in this 7 iron pretty well so far. Going a bit left, but finding the middle of the club, to be fair. Out the middle again, bit of a weird swing, won't lie, but out the middle. God, I've gone a long way today, fair play. Okay, how did that last shot go? 10 yards difference again, I'm afraid. We've got 175 yards with the Flightscope compared to 165 yards with the Garmin. 87 miles an hour club head speed with the Mevo compared to 83 miles an hour with the Garmin. And ball speed wise, 120 miles an hour with the Flightscope Mevo Plus compared to 117 miles an hour with the Garmin. Okay, let's move on to the driver. I've had a little play around with this thing and it seems to be better when it's laying down flat on the ground for the driver. I think it's because the driver's obviously off a tee. So let's see what kind of results we can get with this thing. Driver's not a good club for me at the moment, but let's see if we can put some down the middle here. Oh yeah, that's a good one for me. Nice little draw up the left hand side. Oh yeah, good shot. Let's do some comparing. So, carry-wise with the Flightscope Mevo Plus, 253 yards compared to 228 with the Garmin. It's way off. Clubhead speed-wise, we've got 102 mile an hour with the Flightscope Mevo Plus and 100 mile an hour with the Garmin. Ball speed, that's pretty close. 145 miles an hour with the Flightscope compared to 144 with the Garmin. Shot number 2. Another good one. Bit left, but I've hit it well. Yeah, another good shot if I do say so myself. We're a little bit closer in results there. So the Flightscope Mevo Plus has carried that 247 yards compared to the Garmin at 236. Clubhead speed wise, we've got 102 miles an hour with the Flightscope compared to 100 miles an hour with the Garmin. Ball speed wise, we've had a bit of a jump in ball speed there, I think. 150 miles an hour on the head with the Flightscope Mevo Plus compared to 147 with the Garmin. All right, last shot with the driver, and then we'll just have a little deep dive into these results. I think hit my guitar there, handy. Good shot again, a little bit high off the face maybe, but yeah, just getting a little bit. Another good shot to be honest. I've hit 3 pretty good drives there for me. Okay, let's have a look at the carry. So 231 yards with the Flightscope Mevo Plus, 226 yards with the Garmin. That's the closest result we've had in regards to carry across all of the clubs, I think. Clubhead speed wise, 100 mile an hour each, which is good. The Garmin has read 100 mile an hour for all 3 of those drives. Bit suspicious. Ball speed wise, we've got 146 with the Flightscope Mevo Plus and 143 with the Garmin. Right, let's get into the results of this test. Face value during that test, I thought the Garmin was way off. Like really inaccurate. But when I've had a deeper dive into the results, it's not as bad as I first thought. Don't get me wrong, every single distance was incorrect, every single club speed measurement was incorrect, and every single ball speed measurement was incorrect. But it was very consistent. On average, every single carry distance was about 5 to 6% lower with the Garmin compared to the Mevo. And bar the driver that had some sporadic sort of readings with the Garmin, 5% off is manageable and predictable with the Garmin. So as long as I know that, I can actually calibrate that and use it down the driving range. And it was very consistent, and it even picked up a poor shot with that pitching wedge. So to a certain degree, you can use it, but you have to know how far you hit your golf clubs before you use it, which kind of defeats the object, if that makes sense. Now, with that said, before I got the Flightscope Mevo Plus, I actually went and did a gapping session with a PGA Pro with their TrackMan, just to make sure that I knew how far I was hitting my clubs, and I could tell if that thing was accurate. Why was it measuring lower with every single metric, with every single shot? There's a lot of other factors that take into account how far a ball actually flies in the air. It's not just all about ball speed and club head speed. You've got to at least consider things like spin and launch angle, which obviously the Garmin isn't actually measuring. So would I trust this unit to actually tell me how far I'm hitting the golf ball? No, I wouldn't, to be honest with you. It's not measuring enough factors to give you an accurate or even close to accurate reading for carry. And that's why you're buying it. That's why you're using it. You're buying it to figure out how far you hit your golf clubs, and I wouldn't trust it to do that, to be honest with you. And especially for the money. If you're buying one of these brand new for £400, there are way better units to do the job that you want it to do. Things like the Flightscope Mevo, not the Mevo Plus, the one below it. That's about £400 or £500. And right now, I think Flightscope have a sale on, and it's 320 quid brand new. And it's going to measure a lot more than just carry. So if you want a pocket-sized launch monitor, there are better options available, and for the same amount of money, if not cheaper. But that does leave you out of pocket not having a GPS unit for rounds of golf. But again, you can pick them up pretty cheap as well. So there you have it. That's the end of another test on this channel. It turned into a little bit of a bashing for the Garmin G80. It was probably a little bit too harsh, if I do say so myself. But at the end of the day, I don't think that unit is accurate enough to tell you how far you actually hit your golf clubs. But if you do have one, it's probably a lot of fun to take down the driving range, and you're going to get some sort of an idea of how far you hit your golf clubs. But if you do take your golf seriously and you want to know how far you hit your golf clubs and you want some extra sort of data parameters to work off, there are better options available on the market. But let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of the unit. Do you have one in the bag already? Have you found it useful? Let me know. Comment below. But for now, that's the end of the video, and I will see you next week for another one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.